VALTORIOUS, the Awoken here. So, we're going to talk about basically an interesting scenario on what if the Death Note was actually real, right? So, we have like a lot of people out here who's just going crazy and doing all these crazy things, right? I ain't going to say who, but let's just say like that particular group of people that's out here just doing all types of nonsense, right? And let's just say anybody of this generation, like I don't know, like a millennial, what they call those people, boomers, yeah, like boomers, or anyone like those, like that generation, either boomer or millennial, right, had the Death Note, right? So imagine if the Death Note was actually real, and you got people or that particular person who has the Death Note, and he's just writing down like a bunch of names, right? Now, obviously, it wouldn't be like no light Yagami. You know, it wouldn't be like I think, what was his name? I think Minoru. It wouldn't be like him either, right? It'd just be like a person who have the Death Note and would just be like write anybody's names down in there. So let's just say a scenario on if it's like a teenager who had the Death Note. Boys, do you understand what a teenager would do with a Death Note? Seems like if his mother says, "Oh, no PS3," right? Oh, actually, no, let me not say PS3. No PS4 or 5, right? No Xbox and shit, and he just gets so upset, like, fuck, take my PS4, write their fucking name down in the Death Note and shit. And then it's like, okay, Death Note's real. It actually kills people. And then he gets scared, and then from scared to crying, and then he goes from obsession. It's just like, all right, I'm gonna start writing out anybody's names down. Don't you know how dangerous the Death Note would actually be if somebody was to have this shit? So imagine somebody, you know, got dumped, right, or got cheated on. You gonna fucking cheat on me and shit. You gonna fucking cheat on me and shit. Got your ass, bitch. Next thing you know, he fucking writes down her name in the Death Note, and he's like, yeah, this is fucking revenge. You cheated on me with Phil. Fuck you. But besides that, I'll say that if the Death Note was in anybody else's hands, right? I'll give you one scenario. Let's just say the Death Note was in like a corporate hand, right? Like a corp. So if a person who would have had like a Death Note in the corporate standards, it would be even worse if you think about it, because let's just say like one rival company is even doing more than the actual company that the person has the Death Note in, and he's just like, okay, got the Death Note, he sees Shimigami tells him the rules, he understands those rules, and then he starts like writing off like other writing down the names of like the other competition, so that way only his business and corporation would only remain and stuff. Because I would kind of see that in more of a person like a corp or a suit who was to have like the Death Note and start writing down names and stuff. It would be bad, because it's like, yeah, he's the only one that's there. Just imagine if, I don't know, like maybe Facebook, Samsung, Google, you know, one of those power companies who's just like, okay, actually, well, yeah, one of those power companies, they're like, oh, let's get rid of our rival or someone. They just start writing down like a bunch of names and stuff, and then buy off all their shares. Now, rich, do you understand how rich a company or a corporation would be if, let's just say, like that corporation had like, I guess if it amounted to like maybe $4 billion or $10 billion or so, right? And then the guy just starts like writing down the names of the people that's there, and including the person that's in charge of it, and then just buys off all his shares. You know how dangerous and scary that would actually be, making like that person, like, I wouldn't say like the richest person in the world, but one of the richest persons or peoples that's in the world. But if you think about it, if a rich person or a corp was smart, just start writing down people's names, get close to them, be friends with them, right? Be friends with other rich people, and then start writing down their names in a book, and then just start buying off all their stuff. You know how crazy that would actually be if that was to happen, like, boys. But I can see that in a corporation standpoint, if somebody was to have like a Death Note, start like writing out people's names. Now, if a child was to have a Death Note, it would be worse, because he's getting upset off of anything. Mother pisses him off, father pisses him off, brother or sister pisses him off. He starts writing down names and stuff. And like I gave you like the scenario on if a teenager was to have the Death Note, and let's say like, yeah, his heart was broken, or teacher is getting on his case because he's not doing homework, he's messing up in school, he's smoking pot or whatever. And next thing you know, he just started, oh, I don't care. He started writing down the names and stuff. Again, that's just plain out horrible, because one of the rules was basically in the death note is that, I guess depending on what you do, you won't go to heaven or you won't go to hell. So I guess you would be either be in limbo, or in the case, or in this case, I think you would become a Shimigami. Because if anybody remembers like that Death Note special where Ryuk was explaining to the other Shimigami about what happened in the human world, and then that Shimigami just left Ryuk and went down there, so people were speculating that was Kira and stuff. Like, he doesn't remember being a human or any of his past life, but he's now a Shimigami. But the story that what Ryuk told him about piqued his interest, so he said, okay, let me go to the human world and see how it is and stuff. So yeah, that's what I think that would most likely would have happened if like I said, like if a child was to get it and stuff, or a suit from a corporation, like they was to ever get it and stuff. Imagine the president of the United States of America, right? I'm sorry, let me not say that. A president of any state or country was to have like the death note and stuff. Don't you know how interesting that would have been too? Well, let's just say I can't even say any names. As much as I want to say those names, I can't say those names. But let's just say a country, right? Let's just say a country, and they hated like another country, and that other country had like a lot of things that other country didn't have. So they was just like, okay, cool, we're gonna start writing down some names, right? If possible, like any figure or powerful head that they knew, just start like writing down names. And then the scary part would be to buy the country, right? Like if they have enough money that they accumulated up to, and they just buy the country, I'm telling you, like you don't even understand how insane that would have been. Like, oh my God, man, like I'm just throwing out off the bat here. I'm just like giving out like a bunch of ideas here and stuff. Like, you can say, well, I'm basically spitballing here, but I'm just throwing out like a lot of interesting like scenarios and what ifs and stuff, like very scary what ifs. Like, yo, like if this was to actually happen, sons. But yeah, man. Oh, before I even say anything else, all right, another good one, or female. So you know how some of these dudes out here be thinking, they Slim Johnson, and they like, yeah, I got it all. I got the money, I got the bag. One time for the one time, going to go get the bag, right? You got those types of people, right? And then if a female was to get the death note, I think it would be even worse, because it's just like, okay, it wouldn't even be the whole classic, I'm gonna get upset, cut his kid's car, and tell his friends he got a small meat and this. No, it wouldn't even be any of that. It'd just be simple. If you get one of like the crazy chicks or females that you're messing around with or whatever, or you just hurt a girl so badly to the point where she's like, all right, see the death note, and starts writing down names, it'd be worse. Because I think if a woman was to have the death note, I think she would put the man, he would be living literally on borrowed time, if you think about it. Because let's just say like he doesn't do certain things that she requires of him to do, and he just starts acting like, I don't give a fuck about these things. What, you want me to take you shopping? Oh, fuck, I'll take you shopping. Now fuck all that shopping shit. Let's go to the room and let's continue from there. She's like, I see you one of those people. Okay. And next thing you know, get the death note and start writing down names and stuff, and then next thing you know, he's dead. I think it'd be far worse if a crazy woman was to have a death note, because you would never know and stuff. Now, if a female who had the death note and she was to start just like writing down names because of all of her exes that did her wrong, Taylor Swift, guys, man, don't get me started saying anymore, because but besides the note, if Death Note should have, thank God the Death Note doesn't exist. It's not real. right? You can't write anybody's names down in the book because, again, it would be mass genocide. Because you know how in the show you had like I don't know. It was to me. I felt like it was fast because it was like, oh yeah, we found out who Kira was and this and that. I don't know. I felt like it was fast. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the story itself was great. It was really good. It was great. I have no complaints. But I felt like it was fast. And just a tad bit not realistic. In a sense, because if anybody had a Death Note, they would kind of have some sort of common sense, not to take it outside. Keep it in the house or something, because you holding literally ultimate power in your hand. You have the fate, you have the power to seal someone's fate. So it's like, who you're gonna write in that book. So I think, if anything, a person can have that Death Note for like a very long time, until the day that they die. And if anything, if somebody was to catch on to what was going on, burn the book, or if you die of old age, I would assume you would get rid of the book. You wouldn't keep it or pass it down to somebody would probably do that, pass it down to the next generation or something, and then inform them of the rules. I feel like some idiot would probably do some stupid shit like that, but I'm it's just it's a good thing. It's a good thing because mass genocide, and if a court was to get it, corporations would fall. A whole civilization would end. If any country or if a person in power was to get that, just starting picking off names to get into that position of power. If a child or a teenager was to get that, it would be even worse. And like I said before, about if a crazy woman was to get the Death Note, then it would be even worse, because again, you will be living on borrowed time with her. You wouldn't think you would be living on borrowed time, because you think, oh, I'm doing everything right. You may do one or two things that might irritate her or piss her off, but your fate would be sealed if you cheat, because if you cheat, it's over for you. Forget about cutting your meat off and just cutting up your car and keying your car. No. Just write your name in the book and stuff, and you have a nice day. And if the cops be like, oh, what happened to him? He had a heart attack. They wouldn't even find no drugs or any concoctions in the system, because when Light was writing out all these names in the book, they said, oh, died of heart attack. There was no drugs. There was no nothing. It was just, a simple heart attack. Autopsy would look and be like, wow, his body, he was healthy. Like, he was healthy for like a young man. He could have lived to like probably like 60, 70, maybe 80 years and stuff. But he just died of a heart attack. I guess natural causes. Nope, Death Note. Because she was crazy enough to write his name down in the book, and was just like, well, you one of these types of dudes. You think that you're going to try to slide your way in and treat me like a trick, but I'm going to show you the trick. Your name's going to be in the book. But yeah, man. Oh, before we get out of here, just want to tell y'all, for the channel, I'm going to try to, upload at least probably like once or maybe twice a week. No, actually, no, hold on. What am I talking about? I kind of do that already. I mean, like, maybe 2 videos a week, or at least 1. I'm going to try to see if I can do that, because the second channel, I figured out what I wanted to do with it, and I think it's working. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely work on some things, because I kind of want to do a lot with this channel, too, but the second channel, I have, like, some fucking beautiful ideas and stuff, but we'll see what we'll do, because I want to kind of come back to having like matches and more crazy whatever stories and ideas and stuff. But just give me some time. I figure how I'm gonna balance this out and stuff. But if you like what you heard you like, please subscribe, share, do all that wonderful stuff, and I catch you later.